to crypto-clothesline. We're glad to be here with you. Hanging out the crypto laundry. Getting all the crypto info for you. Crypto-clothesline.
Well, welcome everybody to Crypto-Clothesline. This is the place where our aim is to bring women to the front of this wealth revolution.
So how are you going, Abheeti? What's going on in your world?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little weary. I've had some great opportunities to get public speaking and do some MC work and get in front of audiences, which has been both exciting, exhilarating and intimidating, but all wrapped up in great experiences.
Well, that sounds like a little bit of a roller coaster, but I saw the photos and I'm really impressed. I think in the past 2 weeks, you've done 2 speaking gigs at massive presentations. I mean, you're the MC at both of them, but the MC, which is the coolest person in the room.
The MC is like the control freak in the room that has to tell everyone else to shut up when they're talking too long. It's pretty intense.
Can you imagine the kerfuffle if there wasn't an MC? You need an MC.
It's like the party host or the organizer. I think Chris Dorian from Build Sort, at not this one, but at the last one, he said to me, "Oh, I'm getting off the stage before she gets to me." Or I'm like, it's not helping.
We crack the whip, and you know what? It keeps people in line, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't mind cracking the whip sometimes because I don't have time for BS.
There was this lady who commented on LinkedIn, and Johnny Swanepoel from Blockchain Perth and Frio, he loves this woman, and he said to me yesterday, "Abby, you're being too nice on LinkedIn. You've got to be meaner." And this woman had put up this post, I'm going to tag it for you, and it said, she's totally up with crypto and stuff. We should interview her. She sounds really sassy. She went, "I don't have time for your BS if you A, don't rock up on time to appointments, B, tell me bullshit, C, don't honour what you said you're going to do." She made a bullet point list of stuff she will not suffer in the crypto space.
You know what? I know who you're talking about. I saw that post. I'm a little bit scared of that person, to be honest. I can't. As you know, as someone in the crypto space, I'm getting really sick of using the word space, as you know. But like, I don't want to feel afraid of someone. You know, it's so new. Why would you make people feel uncomfortable for approaching you?
But do you know what? Johnny's point was this. He also talked about another woman, and I can't quite remember her name, but we'll find it out and I'll put it in the show notes. And Johnny said something to me like, "Abby, there was this woman when they first started talking about porn and paying for porn with a certain coin, she posted a picture of herself looking over her shoulder with a saucy look in her underwear, and she put it on LinkedIn saying, 'I'm just heading to the bedroom to spend my whatever this coin was.'" And he said it got literally, it got a ton of likes and connection. And he was basically saying, you've got to break the rules. LinkedIn is a bit square bear. I can't say that I'm going to be in my undies giving a saucy look saying, come and spend your... Come and spend your Bitcoin here, but, it's just not my story. But clearly she had the sass to carry it off.
I want to see that post. And you know what? Full cred to that lady. She sounds hardcore. I don't know if I'd do it. And you know what? I've been breaking rules my whole life.
Yeah, but there are different rules. Like we have genius types, and there are certain areas we're comfy breaking rules, and there's certain areas we're so not comfy breaking rules. And I'm just not a sass girl. I just don't do sass.
I'm definitely not doing sexy poses on LinkedIn. That is not the place. I will happily do sexy poses on Instagram.
Okay, well, we'll have to watch out for our Instagram account. Actually, we must include that in the show notes because
I think so.
Our crypto.
No, I don't think I'll put it on the clothesline one. Oh, geez, we're getting grey. All right. So someone a little bit more savoury than us at the moment is someone that we interviewed, Alex-Tinsman from NEM today. She's the regional head for NEM in North America.
She is, and what I loved about talking to Alex was she was just such a regular, easy to easy to approach person, somebody who talked very proudly about her kids and their understanding and developing research into cryptocurrencies themselves.
We could really relate to Alex, and I'm so glad we had her on because she's really dedicated to the crypto and blockchain space. And she mentions in the interview where she worked voluntarily for NEM and had a YouTube channel, and she did that of her own
volition.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed by her, and I'm impressed with NEM. We are hopefully working with Travel by Bit for the city of Fremantle coming up, which we can't say much about that. But in layman's terms, think of NEM as a competitor for both Ethereum and Ripple, because it's going to be able to sign contracts and deal with documents and uploading and applications and plugins. So that is what NEM is. It's people are building applications on top of NEM. So just a little bit of a backstory on NEM that's coming up in the interview.
And the fact that she talked about NEM being a plug-and-play blockchain, I don't pretend to really understand what that means. I think you've got far more technical know-how, not because I think I'm not good enough, just because I don't think it's my area of expertise. But can you talk a little bit more about that, Amy Rose?
I don't know how much I can give you because I don't know about NEM a great deal, but from what I gather, a plugin is something that they built to make it easy for applications to put their technology onto their platform.
Okay, and we also discussed which businesses or what kinds of needs that a business would. So let's reword that. We also discussed what kinds of businesses would benefit from being on the blockchain, because we spoke to Dr. Jane Thomason, didn't we? And she said that it's the new sexy term, and everybody's talking about blockchain, but it's actually not for everyone, and it's not for every kind of business. So that was a really interesting part of the conversation as well.
I think everyone needs to start talking about that as well. And she did make some excellent points. So for any businesses that are listening, you might actually not need blockchain, or you might very, very much need it. So let's have a listen to what she had to say.
Yes.
Welcome, Alex-Tinsman from NEM. You're the regional head for NEM in North America. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and talk with you too.
Yes, very much welcome to Crypto-Clothesline. It's a real thrill for us to meet you.
We think you're doing awesome work, and we want to hear all about it. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing at NEM, and what is NEM?
Sure. So I am the regional head of North America for the NEM blockchain. And NEM is a really fascinating blockchain. It is a plug and play blockchain. And what that really just means is that we have built-in smart contracts, so plugins, and that makes it super easy for anyone to develop on our platform, and it's safe and it's scalable and it's 100% new code. And we have all these advanced smart features that are built right into our core. And it's a great platform. It's been around since 2014. We've got team members all over the world. And so I am setting up North America. And I've been with NEM for maybe about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
How's the space going in North America? We're all the way in Australia. North America seems really, really far away. But can you tell us about what happens over there in the crypto space? Like, are there meetups? Is it similar to the rest of the world?
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine being in another industry right now. There is just so much excitement that's going on in the world of blockchain. And in North America, you are seeing a lot of regulations shift. The SEC certainly has opinions on blockchain and cryptocurrencies, but I do see that there's been an emergence of technology and innovation in this space. I'm seeing a lot more companies that are starting up and having success on the platform. And it's not just NEM. You're seeing companies on Ethereum. You're seeing a lot of momentum in a lot of different verticals where the whole goal is to create, a new model of trust and security and serve new markets. And we're able to do that in the blockchain space. And cryptocurrencies, they are the future, right? Anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized in the future. And so having the ability to build a team and to work with such talented developers in our community is just a privilege for me to work alongside all all of these folks at NEM. And, we are one of the very few blockchains out there that have hundreds, and I mean hundreds of companies that are not just building on our platform, but also deploying. And that's a big deal. We've been around since 2014. So we've been bullet tested. We're tried and true. And because of that, we actually have a lot of our companies do the promotion, companies that are building on our platform do the promotion for us, because what better way to tell your story than use the success of others to share what they're able to build and deploy and how they're succeeding in the space using our platform.
I was interested, Alex, for those listeners who have no clue what NEM is or what a platform is or what it means to have companies building on your platform, can you explain that? Say, for example, this is my favorite way of asking people. If you're at a bus stop and you had to tell people how your business helps other people, could you do that in complete bus stop terms?
Oh, yeah, sure. So what blockchain is, it's basically a ledger. So think of it as the ultimate way to keep track of information and data. And if you have all this data, it's really easy to make sure that data is legit, because it's time-stamped, meaning you can actually see when that data was recorded. And what's really cool about this data is that it's immutable. So you can actually see when it was recorded, and you can show that this data has not been falsified. So everybody should actually care about blockchain, because the data that your persona, who you are, your identity, it's all wrapped up in data, and data is gold, right? So actually having a way to track data and take care of data and actually verify data, it's a big deal. And so that's really what blockchain is. It's just verification of data, and it's done in such a way that it can't be falsified and it can be proven to be the actual data.
And so if, for example, a lot of people confuse Bitcoin and blockchain, and then they think there is just blockchain per se and there's the blockchain. Somebody was discussing it yesterday at a conference that I was at, and he went on to mention that there are lots of different types of blockchain. So how does NEM vary from other types of blockchain, for example, blockchain that Ethereum is built on?
Yeah, so Ethereum is actually a blockchain that powers a virtual machine. So it basically powers custom-made programs, and those custom-made programs, they're called smart contracts. So they're not really run in the blockchain. They're more, it's like a decentralized computer on top of a blockchain. And Ethereum is a really good blockchain. And if you want customized smart contracts, which are really programs, right? If there's customized programs that you want to create on blockchain, Ethereum is a great blockchain to do that. However, Ethereum has good things and bad things. And with Ethereum, there are some security risks, and it's a new language, a new programming language. So it's really difficult, and there are challenges with it. But that being said, Ethereum is a really good blockchain. NEM is different. So NEM really makes the blockchain as a database solution, because you're able to use all of these things by our plugins. We have plugins that are built directly into the core, and we basically have templatized smart contracts, meaning these have been tested, they are proven, they are safe. We've taken the majority of the smart contracts out there, templatized them so that anyone who wants to build on blockchain can, and they can do it easily using our plugins. So it's a really great solution for companies that want to build on blockchain, maybe don't need customized smart contracts. And it's cost efficient, it's scalable. Like I said, it's tested. And that's a big deal, to actually see what companies are building on blockchain and which ones are able to scale. And NEM can do a lot of that.
Alex, we've been interviewing a few people with various projects, but one of them is Travel by Bit.
Oh, they're so great. We love Travel by Bit.
Yeah, so they've partnered up with NEM. And I'm just wondering, you've got a plugin that allows people to use the Travel by Bit system to make payments. Is that how that works? Do you know?
On Travel by Bit, I don't know all the details. Travel by Bit is built on NEM, and they're one of the many companies that have built on on NEM. But really, so if we were to take a step back for our platform, you have the blockchain, we have our NEM blockchain, and really we have something that we call smart assets. And all these are the templatized smart contracts. These are self-contained, pre-tested, built-in smart contracts. And they work with all different kinds of APIs. Thanks to APIs, you can, make all kinds of apps with them. And the other thing that you're referring to is a mosaic. So Travel by Bit has created a mosaic. And really, this is just a digital asset. It's a digital asset on NEM. And a mosaic can represent cryptocurrencies. They can represent tickets or coupons, IOUs, really any kind of asset. And so that's really what mosaics are, right? They're any kind of digital asset that you use on blockchain.
Alex, after doing a bit of research on you, it's a very extensive background, I have to say. You're a mom and you've got 3 kids, but you've also got 20 years in gaming. Now, a lot of people are going to think you're really, really cool now. Can you tell us how you went from gaming to blockchain?
Yeah, sure. So I have 2 decades of marketing and community development experience. And like you said, I have a focus on online gaming. So pre-crypto, I worked on a lot of the world's first digital tradable objects on Pokemon Online, Magic, The Gathering Online. I worked for Riot Games on League of Legends. I worked for Xbox. So just a ton, and I'm a game designer and own a board game company with my husband. And so a lot of what we would do is the past, 20 years, we marketed games, and we would create basically digital economies for games. And it's been a pretty amazing experience. And we took a lot of that knowledge, and we get royalties from our games, and we took those royalties and began to invest them in new ways. So we looked at gold and silver and the stock market and tried those out. And really, cryptocurrency was pretty exciting world to us. And so we began, like everyone, with Bitcoin a few years back. And, I fell in love with the technology for blockchain, and then began to look more at the different platforms and cryptocurrencies. And that's how I got started. I got sucked in by the glamour of it. And then really, by the time that we began to do our research on different blockchains, that's when we discovered NEM. But yeah, I feel like it's a great parallel between gaming and cryptocurrencies, because if you'll forgive me for a second while I just, I go off on a tangent here, but in games, you have a virtual marketplace like Steam. In the crypto world, you have a virtual marketplace like Coinbase. So there was a lot of familiarity with me being able to buy digital items because it was something that I was comfortable doing. And in the gaming world, you have online personas, right? So everyone uses avatars, and you don't always know who you're speaking with. Well, the same thing is like that in the crypto space, right? You have a ton of different personalities out there, and they're larger than life. And in gaming, you have a reputation system where you're trying to level up. Well, the same thing is in cryptocurrency, right? Everyone's trying to go after the loot and kind of figure out the best coin and what they should back. And as you get more experience, you get more comfortable with different platforms. So there really is a reputation system out there. And then I look at guilds in gaming. You have guilds like Twitch. This is the place where you get together and you can kind of learn the insider secrets, or you're working with all different kind of personalities, and you're banding together to go after the common goal. And when you succeed, everybody succeeds. Well, you have that same kind of platform through Telegram groups and different chat platforms, where Reddit and Bitcoin Talk, where people come together and they share their knowledge. And I really do think of that as a guild. And in gaming, you have add-ons, right? These are things, can be digital items that you're purchasing either to level up your experience or to make it so that you are more protected against the environment around you. And same thing in the crypto space. I look at Ledger and Trezor as your armor against, having people come after your coins, right? It's a protection. And and in the end, actually, Bitcoin is if you can imagine Mario and Luigi, on the screen, and you're playing a game, and Super Mario Brothers, and they're jumping up and down, they're going after the coin. People are doing that in droves right now with Bitcoin, and they're trying to go after all the different coins, and the end goal is to succeed with wealth. But I mean, that's not the only reason why people are in this space right now. They're in this space for a lot of different reasons, whether it's innovation or social good. But the parallels between gaming, video gaming, and crypto were actually quite familiar to me. And it's not unheard of to have a digital item in the gaming world that's worth, where you're paying real fiat, you're paying real money for an item that can cost $100 or $1,000 or even more than that, right? Some video games, you pay a lot of money for digital items. Well, you do that in the crypto space too. All of these different skills that I'd learned over the years were very applicable to the space that I'm in now.
That's a really an interesting analogy, and it did make me laugh at this image of all the Lambo to the Mooners.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi that are running around a screen trying to chase a Bitcoin. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and it was in the beginning when I began to look at different platforms, different blockchain platforms. What I really wanted was one that had been tested and had showed the most promise. In the beginning, I began to look at coins, cryptocurrencies, that I wanted something that had a large market cap but a low coin price, and I really didn't find any other than NEM. And so this is what I began to do. I'm used to lurking in communities and gaming communities. And so I began to lurk in the NEM community on Telegram. There's a channel that they have called NEM Red, and it's just like an all-purpose ask whatever questions you want. They help you out. And that's been super helpful. So that's how I began. And then the team was going to have a booth at Consensus last year. And I decided that I wanted to meet them. And I said, can I volunteer? I'm one of your community members, and I'd love to just come and meet you guys and see if you really are as cool as you seem online, right? Like, I want to know, who am I actually, dealing with? And so they actually flew me to Consensus, and I volunteered and I worked with them, and I fell in love with the team. They're fantastic, fantastic team. And right then and there, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a video series for you. I'm going to create a video series called Inside NEM, and I just want to interview you guys, and I want to talk more about NEM. And that's actually how it all started. And I did it, and they were like, this is awesome. Do more. And I'm like, okay, I will. And it really became I'm a very gregarious person, and I really just found my tribe. And when you find your tribe, it just clicks. And it was pretty remarkable. It was pretty remarkable experience. And now it's crazy that I look a year and a half later, and now I'm heading up North America for NEM. And during that time, it's been a wild ride, you guys. It's been traveling around the world. It's been interviewing many partners that are building on our platform. It has been experiencing NEM from the perspective of, we had a hack in January of this year where a hacker came in and hacked the CoinCheck exchange and stole $500 million worth of ZEM.
Whoa.
And what's kind of crazy is that's the largest hack in history, but the exchange, CoinCheck, we'd been working with them, and we have something called a multi-level multisig. So for all of you out there that may not be as crypto savvy, multi-level multisig is pretty amazing because you can, do 10 or more different levels where you have a sign off and then a sign off and then a sign off. And why that matters is if you want to approve a transaction, you have to have a lot of people approve it before it goes to the next step. And so we actually have something like that. We have that in our wallet, and it's called multi-level multisig. If the exchange had actually used our multi-level multisig, they would never have been hacked but they kept all their money on the exchange. So, and the reason I bring this up is for a couple of things. A lot of your listeners probably own some kind of a coin. And I want to stress the importance of making sure that you are taking those coins and taking good care of them. Don't buy all these coins and not use a cold storage for them. It's what we call a cold storage is a wallet. And I use a Trezor for my ZEM, but exchanges are doing the best they can. And sometimes they follow really good know your customer laws, KYC laws, and they try their best to deal with the anti-money laundering requirements that are set upon them. But all exchanges are different. And so people just need to realize that when you're leaving large amounts of money on an exchange, it is still putting you at risk. So really the best thing that you can do is back up your cryptos. So this has been a trial by fire experience for me from the very beginning, from starting the video series and working with the community and working with the NEM Foundation and working with the core devs on the product. It's just been, I feel like it's been around for 10 years, but it's only been a few years. And it's a pretty wild time for me. There's actually a bar. There is a bar in Japan called NEM Bar, where it's a whole bar where you pay in cryptocurrency for drinks and food and things like that. And it's really cool. It's in Tokyo. And they play my videos in the bar. So, it's wild. It's wild to me that, and we're really huge in Asia. And so I'm trying to bring that awareness to the United States because, I'm such a fan of NEM. It was built from the ground up with, a focus on security, and it's easy to develop on and it can scale. So there's just all these benefits about NEM that made it attractive to me, and just learning about this whole process has been wild. It's just been wild.
Alex, you must be super, super busy. From what I hear, I did do some digging. That's what I'm known for. You have a teenager all the way down to a toddler.
Oh my God. I have a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And right before this interview, we had a meltdown. So it's all of them. No, I'm just kidding. No, not all of them had a meltdown. It was mainly the 3-year-old. But yeah, juggling time as a mom and as someone who's leading a team and working on technology, it's it can be crazy, but it's pretty fun. But we pay our kids in crypto. So they started just when we did. And so they know all about crypto, and they have a lot of fun with getting their allowance in crypto. And so we have some cool stories that we can share with that too.
Oh, I'd love to hear a story.
Sure. All right. So I'll tell you about my son. So my son is 13 years old, and when he got into crypto, he says to me, "Hey mom, I have $300 in iTunes gift cards that I've had over the course of a year. And I don't know what to do with it because I'm not going to buy any more games." He was kind of done. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll tell you what, you give them to me and I'll basically buy you, we'll work together and we can buy $300 worth of crypto. And then you can download Blockfolio, and then you can go and monitor it and get a sense for how cryptos work. And so he did, and he got really good at it. And that kid at December of last year, when the height of cryptos was really high for a lot of the different coins, kid pulled in thousands of dollars. And it was a great learning lesson for him. So he actually made around 10K.
Oh my God, he's my hero.
Yeah, he was my hero too. I was like, what the hell? Oh my God. I mean, he was doing research. It was remarkable because, he would spend time every night, an hour every night, which is a good amount of time actually, because it adds up over the week, an hour just researching different platforms and learning the technology and watching videos. But so what he did is he pulled out what he had put into it, because that's lesson number one. You always want to pull out what you put into a platform. Basically, only be willing to risk what you are comfortable risking, right? So that was the first thing he learned. The second thing he learned is that you need to also contribute, and you need to actually be a creator in the world. You can't just take, you have to give. And so the things that he began to do then were buying experiences, or he created a virtual or an AR rig. He built one using the funds from crypto. He, built an Oculus Rift. He paid for coding camps using the funds that he had made with his investment. So all of that is really innovative for a kid to learn about and to understand how that he can make his own coin. He can understand the difference between the different coins and the value. And it was just a fantastic lesson for him. And, you know, he still to this day checks Blockfolio every morning to see how his how his investments are doing.
That is really cool. It sounds a little bit like our kids.
I have to say, we are totally killing it at this mum job.
Yesterday at this summit, I played that 1.5 minute video that Amy Rose put together of our daughters having a conversation about cryptocurrency, and it's an absolute scream. Just these girls talking about things which grown men are grappling with, you know, in their minds, or grown-ups, I should say. And these little people without so many filters, there's so much more acceptance of information because they haven't developed those right, wrong, good, bad sort of systemized thinking filters that we have, and as adults, and it really brought the house down.
Yeah, I mean, kids are a trip because they will tell it to you like it is. And when my kids ask me, what the hell is happening with the markets? What's going on? You know, I'm like, that is a great question. I would like to know what is happening with the markets too. And I tell them, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's up. Sometimes it's insider trading. Sometimes it's speculation and rampant fear. Who knows, right? Sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down, and that's just the way it is. But you know, they've learned that too.
And I think it's really important to be able to explain to a child how things work. And if they can understand it, then everyone else should be able to understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for my son, he's a gamer, and he understood right away digital money because that's what you use in video games. You're using this virtual money, right? And so for him, it was like, oh, there's a way that I can actually make virtual money and have it grow. And, you know, okay, I have a wallet. Okay, I understand the concept of a wallet, and I have virtual money that goes in the wallet. Okay, so, you know, for him, cryptocurrencies were he definitely picked up on it right away because of just the very nature, again, of the parallels between gaming and cryptocurrency.
There is a whole new thought process developing in the minds of children who are exposed to this information. And I feel like it can't do anything other than prepare them for a future, which quite frankly, we all feel a little uncertain about.
Yeah. And you know, so about that, so there's never been a time in history when you could create your own money like this, right? Like you can create your own coin. Think about that. That is remarkable. And not only that, people are doing it, and they are using anything that you can tokenize is being tokenized. You have nations that are reevaluating the way that they're being run and their economies, and they're looking at e-governance. So this is really fascinating stuff when you're looking at the role that tokens and cryptos play. It is changing the way that we live, the way that we work. It is absolutely changing that dynamic. And that goes back to that when I saw Dennis Kucinich, who is the former U.S. representative at the United Nations, right? He says we're changing our social and economic reality. And we really are. And right now, our children are right in the thick of the very beginning of this new digital economy.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to listen to your wealth of information, both as a colleague in the space, as somebody who clearly knows her tech, which I don't, and games, which I don't. I don't even pretend to understand that world. But it's just wonderful also to speak to another mum who is juggling all of those things that us mothers juggle and you know, really enjoying life.
Wow. You know, if you had told me a few years back, hey, Alex, you're going to be traveling the world. You are going to meet really interesting people that are going to help level up your understanding of the world and economies. And you're going to have these experiences where someday you're sitting on the floor of the United Nations, or someday you are flying across the world to meet with someone that you've only spoken with online, and they've built a product and you helped inspire them. Like, if you would have told me that this was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that my kid would have been able to invest in cryptos and do as well as he did, I would not have believed you, right? So now I just stopped and I'm like, you know what? Enough of this. I need to just jump in and learn and take it all in. And I've done that. And wow, you can create the life that you want and have the experiences that you want by standing up and participating. Don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid.
Wow, that was one wealth of information that was passed over there. Did you manage to understand everything that she said?
I didn't, and I think this is a repeat. This is where I'm going to have to go back over and have a look. But I have to say, I'm pretty impressed for the ladies in the space. I'm pretty impressed with the ladies in the space.
And it was just awesome to be able to talk as a couple of mums, or as a trio of mums, and discuss, how she manages her time. I mean, not that we went into that in great detail, but just to hear a mum saying, well, leading a company, and I've got a team of people, and I've got 3 kids, one of whom had a massive meltdown just before we met. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is universal. It happens all over the world, not just in my household.
Oh, man, it's like a ritual every day with me and my toddler. Hey, Mum, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I have to scream. I can't stop it. You have to understand. I actually have to scream. And I'm going to try and get food out of the cupboard. It's locked. Yep. Okay, I'm going to scream about that too. So, far out. It's
Now, to get context, you have to put that into context. You can't say that your toddler is being locked out of the cupboard. Some people might think that you're actually incredibly cruel. And give some context. Talk about the cupcakes.
Okay, so I need to tell everyone that my son is addicted to cupcakes, and I continually keep the freezer store full of cupcakes, so it's my own fault. I know. But my son, who is going to be 2 next month, he is very much in love with feeding himself. He will just go anywhere and take whatever food, and if he sees at the cafe that there's a piece of glass blocking him from cakes, I can't take him to cafes anymore, because he literally screams and goes berserk because he can't reach this. There's one particular cake that he loves, which looks like it's out of a cartoon, and I don't know. He likes to be able to access food when he feels like it, and so...
Hence the lock and key.
Pardon?
Hence the lock and key.
The lock and key, and he also, back to the cupcakes, he grabs frozen cupcakes. He only likes the tops. So one day I saw that he had literally eaten the tops off every cupcake in the bag and lined them all up on the freezer door. Just destroyed. He just didn't care. Not one little bit.
Well, at that stage, what was he, 15 months or something? I think at 15 months, you're not thinking logically, you're just thinking, oh, this is the good bit.
And he didn't understand how to take the cupcake wrapper off, so he was like, too hard, don't eat the paper, see you later, top of the cupcake.
You actually can't really blame him. I know a lot of adults sort of do the same thing.
Exactly.
Well, it has been an amazing conversation with Alex. I'm really excited to follow her progress. She suggested at the end, when your tech dropped out, but you missed the very end of it, and I said goodbye and thank you on your behalf, she mentioned that she would love to connect us with some NEM people in Australia, and also some people that we could potentially be meeting at.
I'm really looking forward to that conference. We are the media partners, and it is a very exciting conference coming up.
It's super exciting. It's this interesting merge. For those of you that have heard the interview, we spoke with Paul Sales some weeks ago, and he is the organizer, the founder of Block Conscious. And in a nutshell, it's this bringing together of technology and these incredible developments in the blockchain world and crypto world, together with human consciousness, which is seen to be morphing and changing at the same time. And I'm fascinated to see how different speakers are going to be able to present this amalgamation, this melding of these two apparently opposite spheres, which are very closely related in effect.
Well, I'm really excited too, and I did order myself an Ethereum shirt. Very pumped to wear my Ethereum shirt next week.
No, you need to be wearing a crypto-clothesline shirt.
I don't have enough time to get them printed. Life's going too fast.
Oh gosh, Ethereum. Oh really? man.
Whatever. Oh, crack your whip, abheeti. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no, that was for the saucy girl on LinkedIn, not for me.
Wink, wink.
All right, catch you next week.
Bye.
Hi, you've called abheeti
And Amy Rose.
at Crypto.
Clothesline.
Leave a message after the
Beep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ready?
I'm writing to indicate my unhappiness, let's say. I am discontent, and I could reword that further by saying it's not okay. When I flicked through your website, I saw you had a page requesting information for sponsorship. Now, if I understand correctly, I believe this means that you ladies with the Crypto-Clothesline podcast are actually looking for sponsors. Now, who in their right mind would want to sponsor two women who talk about absolutely nothing?
Crypto-clothesline. Crypto-clothesline.